joining us at Channel 12 Fiesta TV for a very special television program. We have been studying about Jesus in the Bible and discovered yet another interesting story about him. We have two very special guests joining us to discuss this latest information. Hola, my name is Mrs. Ibele, and we will shortly be joined by satellite TV by two professors. Out of Israel, we have Dr. Manuel Lopez, who is Professor of Bible Stories. And coming to us from Mexico is Dr. Bonita Sanchez, who is Professor of Bible Wisdom. Now, without further ado, let us welcome these two professors to our program and hear what they have to say. Good morning, Dr. Lopez.
Good morning, Mrs. Ibele.
And good morning to you, Dr. Sanchez.
Good morning, Mrs. Ibele.
Thank you for joining us and being on our show. Let me start off first with you, Dr. Lopez. I would like you to tell us this latest Bible story you are studying.
With pleasure. You know, it is a very peculiar story. You will find it in Matthew 4:18-22, where it tells us that Jesus was walking along the Sea of Galilee when he saw two fishermen, Peter and his brother Andrew, in a fishing boat, and called to them. If you read more closely, you will find that Jesus is a perfect stranger to them, and they just got up, left what they were doing, and followed him. And the most amazing part is that the reason they followed him was because he told them he would make them fishers of men. How odd is that? And yet they just got up, left a perfectly good job, their family, everything, and followed him.
Sounds kind of strange. How can you explain such actions?
Well, Dr. Lopez is right about how unusual and interesting that is. There must have been something very special about Jesus and the way he said, "Come follow me and I will make you fishers of men." Somehow they must have understood by his voice and the way he said it that he was some kind of a leader. Because who would drop a job to start a new job of fishing for men? And what kind of job is fishing for men?
Oh, there's more to the story than that. Just a bit further on, Jesus saw two more men, James and John, mending their nets, and he invited them to do the same thing. Guess what? They did the same thing. Got up, left their job, their father, their hired servants, the Bible says, and followed him.
Sounds kind of strange. How can you explain such actions? Dr. Sanchez, do you know?
Well, I think there's at least one clue here. The hired servants.
How can hired servants give us a clue?
Think of it. If you had hired servants, then you must be a boss, and a boss is a leader. So James and John were themselves bosses or leaders because they had hired servants that they were in charge of. This helps us understand that when Jesus came by and told them to follow him, they knew how a real leader or boss would talk and act, and they obviously saw those special signs in Jesus, so they obeyed him, even as their hired servants would obey them at their work.
Well, I never thought of that. That is a very interesting story and helps me understand how Jesus is a leader.
Well, if we read further on in the Bible, we discover more interesting things about Jesus being a leader. He also asked Matthew, a tax collector, to join him. This is really odd because tax collectors were very rich because they cheated people out of their money. Yet, Matthew gave up his riches to follow Jesus. Two other followers had been troublemakers before Jesus called them to follow him. So Jesus had a tremendous effect of changing people's lives just by inviting them to join him.
Yes, what Dr. Lopez says is very true. And the most exciting part about that is that Jesus is still alive today. Though he lives in heaven, he still wants us to come and follow him. And the amazing thing about that is that when people decide they want to follow him, by obeying what the Bible says to do, their lives are changed, just like the followers in the Bible story. How wonderful and amazing is that?
That is really amazing. Now I understand what an important leader Jesus is and how important it is to have him be my leader and to follow him. Thank you both for sharing that story with us and helping to explain how Jesus is the best leader we could ever follow. And now it is time to wrap up our very special television presentation. I would again like to thank both Dr. Lopez and Dr. Sanchez for joining us and being our special guests today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
having
much,
us.
Mrs.
It was a
Ibele. I had a
pleasure.
good time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And many thanks to our television audience for tuning in. We look forward to coming to you again in the future with another special presentation. Stay tuned, and until next time, this is Mrs. Ibele for Channel 12 Fiesta Television saying adios.